walls are not made of stone or clay to keep the world and the noise away. I built them deep in the center of the mind to leave the hollow of the man behind. The fire may rage and the wind may blow, but they cannot reach where the sovereigns go. I sit in the center of the silent room, beyond the shadow of the ancient doom. The fortress within's the only home, where the sovereign spirit is free to roam. No windows to watch and no doors to lock, beyond the ticking of the human clock. A kingdom of order and a kingdom of peace, finding the source of the final release. They search for shelter in the world outside, in the middle of the desert and the sovereign pride. But the storm is a mirror and the storm is a ghost of the ones who are lost on the charcoal coast. I master the thoughts and I master the breath, between the life and between the death. The fortress is quiet and the fortress is still, the absolute movement of the sovereign. Every doubt is a crack that I seal with the steel, the only thing that is honest and real. I don't need a guard and I don't need a shield across the desert and the open field. The mind is a bastion of the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. I am the owner of the inner land, with the keys of the world in a steady hand. The fortress within is the only home, where the sovereign spirit is free to roam. No windows to watch and no doors to lock, beyond the ticking of the human clock. A kingdom of order and a am building a monument block by block, out of the timber and the ancient rock, in the middle of the night when the world is dark, holding the fire and holding the spark. Every stone is a lesson, every stone is a scar, under the light of the evening star. I shape the granite with the sovereign hand, the master mason of a broken land. Midnight masonry in the charcoal shade, building the world that the shadows made. A sovereign structure that will never fall, the absolute master of the absolute all. The mortar is blood and the brick is the bone of the king who preferred to be completely alone. Are sleeping while I do the work, in the places where the ghosts and the shadows lurk. I don't build for the glory, I don't build for the fame, under the echo of forgotten name. I build for the weight and I build for the strength, across the width and across the length. The foundation is deep and the foundation is true, doing the things that the sovereigns do. They ask me the purpose and they ask me the goal, while I build the temple of the sovereign soul. The purpose is order and the purpose is still, the absolute movement of the sovereign will. The masonry is a ritual and the masonry is a sign that the kingdom of the soul is forever mine. I finish the wall as the dawn begins, washing away the original sins. Midnight masonry in the charcoal shade, building the world that the shadows made. A sovereign structure that will never fall, the absolute master of the absolute all. The mortar is blood and the brick is the bone of the king who preferred to be completely alone. Inhale the cold and exhale the dark, finding the source of the original spark. The rhythm is slow and the rhythm is deep, in the sovereign silence that the outlaws keep. The world is a panic and the world is a race, but I have the peace of the sovereign grace. I count the seconds and I count the beats in the middle of the desert and the empty streets. The sovereign breath is the anchor of the soul, making the broken pieces finally whole. A cycle of life in the midnight air, with no more heavy burdens to bear. I master the oxygen, I master the mind, leaving the heavy world behind. Every breath is a victory, and every breath is a sign. Across the reach of the high ridge line, the oxygen burns like a slow desire, the fuel for the center of the inner fire. I don't hurry and I don't run, the silent brother of the moon and sun. The air is thin on the mountain peak, where the sovereign words are the ones I speak. Let the others choke on their anger and pride, while I take the ride on the sovereign tide. The breath is a weapon and the breath is a shield. Across the desert and the open field, I am the air and the air is me, moving forever through the starless sea. The final breath is a blessing and a light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. The sovereign breath is the anchor of the soul, making the broken pieces finally whole. A cycle of life in the midnight air, with no more heavy burdens to bear. I master the oxygen, I master the mind, leaving the heavy world behind. The blade is reflecting the silver and black, with no more reason for looking back. I sharpen the edge in the middle of the night, under the watch of the sovereign light. The steel is a promise and the steel is a debt. in a life that is filled with a sovereign regret. It doesn't talk and it doesn't lie. Under the watch of the charcoal sky. Steel in the moonlight and a heart in the cold. A story of power that will never be told. A sovereign readiness for the coming of the storm. In the ancient rhythm, in the ancient form. No more hesitation and no more fear. The absolute center is finally here. They think that the power's in the loud and the proud, while they hide in the hollow of the human crowd. But the power is quiet and the power is sharp. The final notes on a sovereign heart. I test the balance and I test the weight. The master of the path and the master of the faith. The cold blue iron is a part of the hand. Across the reach of the western land. Every stroke is a prayer, and every stroke is a sign that the kingdom of the soul is forever mine. I am the weapon, and I am the will, standing firm on the highest hill. The steel is ready and the mind is clear, leaving behind the ancient and the heavy fear. I am the hunter of the deep and the dark, holding the fire and holding the spark. A story of power that will never be told. A sovereign readiness for the coming of the storm. In the ancient rhythm and the ancient form. No more hesitation and no more fear. The absolute center is finally here. don't need a shout to be heard in the hall, to watch the evening shadows fall. The quiet command is the one they obey at the final end of the common day. A look in the eye and a nod of the head, the most powerful words that were never said. I rule the valley, I rule the peak, with a silent wisdom that the sovereign seek. The quiet command is a whisper of the soul, making the broken pieces finally whole. A sovereign authority in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. No more noise and no more greed, providing for the spirit and the basic need. True power is still, and true power is deep, in the sovereign silence that the outlaws keep. I lead the horse and I lead the ride, with the sovereign spirit as my only guide. The world is a chaos of the loud and the weak, while I find the path that the sovereign seek. I am the master of the silent discernment, in the final hour of the soul's adjournment. Let them talk and let them scream inside the hollow of a broken dream. The quiet man is the king on the hill, the absolute movement of the sovereign will. I command the darkness and I command the light, the silent survivor of the midnight fight. I reach the summit of the great unknown, reigning forever on a sovereign throne. The quiet command is a whisper of the soul, making the broken pieces finally whole. A sovereign authority in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. No more noise and no more greed, providing for the spirit and the basic need. night is cold, a story of ice that will never be told. But in the center of the charcoal stack, where the light is blue and the smoke is black, there is a flame that doesn't need the air, fed by the string of a sovereign state. It doesn't flicker and it doesn't bend, the only brother and the only friend. The cold blue flame is a fire of the soul, making the broken pieces finally whole. A sovereign burn in the middle of the frost, finding the original thing that was lost. It doesn't consume and it doesn't destroy. The absolute master of the sovereign poet. They search for the warmth of the yellow and red inside the hollow of the human bed. But I've learned the power of the chill, the absolute movement of the sovereign will. I master the heat and I master the ice, paid in the middle of the sovereign price. The blue is the color of the deep and the dark, holding the fire and holding the spark. Let the world freezing, its anger and greed, providing for the body, but not for the need. I am the pilot of the freezing light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. Cold blue flame is a temple for the mind, leaving the heavy burdens of the world behind. I stand at the end and I stand at the start, with the western Noir in the center of the heart. The cold blue flame is the fire of the soul, making the broken pieces finally whole. A sovereign burn in the middle of the frost, finding the original that was lost. It doesn't consume and it doesn't destroy. The absolute master of the sovereign poet.
The sun is dipped below the charcoal line, where the human and the spirit finally entwine. The sky is a river of the indigo wing, standing at the edge of the sovereign brink. I see the shapes that the others can't see. Finally sovereign and finally me. The dusk is a curtain and the dusk is a sign that the kingdom of the soul is forever mine. Indigo shadows in the midnight hour, the silent reflection of the sovereign power. A deep blue piece in the center of the gray, at the final end of the common day. I don't need a lamp and I don't need a spark. I am the master of the indigo. The buildings are ghosts in the violet mist, where the sovereign heart can finally exist. I walk the streets of the abandoned town as the evening curtain is coming down. The piano is playing a song of the rain in the middle of the desert and the open plain. I find my balance in the shifting hue, under the watch of the midnight blue. Every transition is a lesson in death. Between the inhale and the final breath, the indigo is the color of the bridge between the valley and the high ridge line ridge. I am the traveler of the middle way, at the final end of the common day. Master of the light and master of the gloom, beyond the shadow of the ancient doom. Indigo shadows in the midnight hour, the silent reflection of the sovereign power. A deep blue piece in the center of the gray, at the final end of the common day. I don't need a lamp, and I don't need a spark. I am the master of the indigo dark.
The dust is a mask and the dust is a shroud for the man who is silent and the man who is proud. I've walked through the fire and I've walked through the rain to find the iron that is living in the vein. The muscles are weary and the bones are old, but the spirit is made of the charcoal and gold. I don't break and I don't bend. I am the beginning and I am the end. Iron in the vein and a heart made of stone, reigning supreme and forever alone. A sovereign strength in the middle of the trial, the ghost of a king and a stoic smile. The blood is the fuel and the will is the drive, the only reason that the spirit is alive. Scorpions crawl where the cowards all run. I stand my ground under the dying sun. A heart made of flint and a soul made of oak. I survived the fire, I am the smoke. The iron is heavy, but the iron is true, doing the things that the sovereigns do. I master the hunger and I master the pain, the absolute master of the sovereign flame.
scar is a link in the sovereign chain, in the middle of the desert and the open plain. I don't look for a mercy and I don't look for a grace. I look at the world with a stone cold face. The iron is the anchor and the iron is the shield, across the desert and the open fields. I reach the summit of the great unknown, reigning forever on a sovereign throne. Iron in the vein and a heart made of stone, reigning supreme and forever alone. A sovereign strength in the middle of the trial, with a ghost of a king and a stoic smile. The blood is the fuel and the will is the drive, the only reason that the spirit is alive.
Silver is cold on the back of the hill. The absolute power of the sovereign steel tells me to move, and it tells me to stay at the final end of the common day. The weight is a duty, and the weight is a sign. Across the reach of the eye ridge line, I ride the trail of the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. The weight of the spur is the weight of the man, doing the things that a sovereign can. Rhythmic decision in the sand and the stone, learning the power of being completely alone. No more hesitation, no more fear. The absolute center is finally here. The horse is a phantom, and the road is a dream, moving across the black and the silver stream. I don't leave a track, and I don't leave a sign along the border of the deep divide line. The spurs are the anchors, and the spurs are the wings, the only music that the outlaw sings. I master the rhythm, and I master the pace, with the wind and the dust against my face. Every mile is a day, and every mile is a price. Hate in the middle of the fire and the ice. The silver reflects the stars in the sky. Watching the world with a frozen eye. I am the rider and I am the lead, providing for the spirit and the basic need. The weight is a blessing and the weight is a lie, guiding the soul through the center of the night. The weight of the spur is the weight of the man, doing the things that a sovereign can. A rhythmic decision in the sand and the stone, learning the power of being completely alone. No more hesitation, no more fear. The absolute center is finally here.
Darkness is the metal and the darkness is the coal. In the absolute furnace of the sovereign soul, I hammer the pride and I hammer the greed, providing for the spirit and the basic need. Every strike is a prayer and every strike is a sign that the kingdom of the soul is forever mine. I shape the silence with a heavy hand, the master of the craft in a broken land. In the forge of the night, the legend is born. Beyond the reach of the weak and the worn, a sovereign spirit made of fire and steel, watching the turning of the ancient wheel. No more deception and no more disguise under the watch of the charcoal skies. The sparks are the stars that fly into the dark, finding the source of the original spark. I don't need a master and I don't need a guide, with the sovereign spirit as my only pride. The iron is glowing in a deep blue heat, the absolute triumph of the sovereign feet.
master the pressure and I master the blow, watching the rhythm of the life move slow. Is a mirror for the mind that is still. The absolute movement of the sovereign will. I have been beaten and I have been burned, but every single lesson has been properly learned. The forge is a temple and the forge is a light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. I am the ending and I am the start, with the western Noir in the center of the heart. In the forge of the night, the legend is born. Beyond the reach of the weak and the worn, a sovereign spirit made of fire and steel, watching the turning of the ancient wheel. No more deception and no more disguise, under the watch of the charcoal skies. The books are written by the men in the light, but the real law is born in the middle of the night. It doesn't need a judge and it doesn't need a pen. Beyond the reach of the common and the hollow man, I read the signs and the shifting of the shade. In the middle of the world that the shadows made, a sovereign heart knows the way to the right. In the charcoal hour of the midnight flight, the law of the shadow is the law of the deep. In the sovereign silence that the outlaws keep, no mercy for the liar and no mercy for the weak, just the absolute truth that the sovereign seek. A kingdom of order in a world of the gray, at the final end of the common day. They think that the justice is a gavel and a star, but the real truth is hidden in a deep blue scar. I follow the code that is older than the stone, reigning supreme
and completely alone. The piano is playing a song of the ghost, the silent arrival of the final host. I master the darkness and I master the light, to know that the kingdom of the soul is mine. Every shadow is a witness to the deeds of the man. In the absolute center of the sovereign plan, I don't look for a pardon, and I don't look for grace. I look at the world with a stone-cold face. The law is the anchor, and the law is the light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. I am the hunter, and I am the way. At the final end of the common day, the law of the shadow is the law of the deep, in the sovereign silence that the outlaws keep. No mercy for the liar and no mercy for the weak, just the absolute truth that the sovereign seek. A kingdom of order in a world of the grave. At the final end of the common day. Didn't leave a gold mine, and I didn't leave a name, just the cold blue ash of the original flame. My legacy is written in the dirt and the dust, in the law of the desert and the sovereign trust. The silver is gone and the silver is spent on the road where the lonely and the sovereigns went. But I leave the iron and I leave the will, standing firm on the highest hill. The outlaw's inheritance is a heavy heart, where the life and the shadow finally depart. A sovereign spirit with a weathered frame, finding the power in the heat of the flame. No money to give and no medals to show, just the secrets that the outlaws know. Take the saddle, take the steel, and never forget how the cold earth feels. The inheritance is the strength to be free. Moving forever through the starless sea. I pass the torch to the ones who can stand in the middle of the dark, in the broken land. The blood is the fuel and the blood is the sign that the legacy of the soul is mine. Every mile I rode was a lesson in the soul, making the broken pieces finally whole. I don't mourn for the end and I don't mourn for the past, knowing that the silence is the thing that will last. The inheritance is a crown made of the thorn for the man who is silent and the man who is born. I walk away and I leave the trail beyond the reach of the weak and the frail. The outlaw's inheritance is a heavy heart where the life and the shadow finally depart. A sovereign spirit with a weathered frame, finding the power in the heat of the flame. No money to give and no medals to show, just the secrets that the outlaws know. Oath is a mountain that a man must climb, beyond the reach of the space and the time. We don't need a witness and we don't need a sign. Across the reach of the high ridge line, the secret is a weight and the secret is a sheet. Across the desert and the open field, the words are the poison and the silence is the cure. The only thing that is honest and pure. Bound by silence and bound by the night, in the center of the charcoal and the sovereign light, a brotherhood of the ghost and the shadow, in the middle of the deep and the dark meadow. No more talking and no more lies, under the watch of the charcoal skies. The world is a chorus of the loud and the cheap, while we hold the secrets that the sovereigns keep. The cello is crying for the things we hide in the middle of the desert and the sovereign pride. A look in the eye is the only key. Finally sovereign and finally free. The bond is the iron and the bond is the bone of the king who preferred to be completely alone. Let them shout and let them scream inside the hollow of a broken dream. The quiet man is the master of the gate, the absolute movement of the sovereign fate. The silence is a temple for the mind that is still, the absolute movement of the sovereign. Well, I am the keeper of the unspoken word, the most powerful sound that was never heard. Bound by silence and bound by the night, in the center of the charcoal and the sovereign light, a brotherhood of the ghost and the shadow, in the middle of the deep and the dark middle. No more talking and no more lies under the watch of the charcoal sky. The dead is settled in the center of the town as the evening curtain is coming down. No jury of the peer and no jury of the men beyond the reach of the gavel and the pen. The dust is the witness to the final score until the noise is heard no more. I don't look for a mercy and I don't look for a sign. The power of the choice is forever mine. Justice in the dust and a soul in the cold, a story of power that will never be told. A sovereign balance in a broken land with a cold blue iron and a steady hand. No more anger and no more hate, the absolute movement of the sovereign faith.
They ran for the silver and they ran for the gold, but the soul of the justice is never sold. The harmonic is screaming for the blood that was shed inside the hollow of the desert bed. I am the hunter and I am the shield across the desert and the open field. The balance is coming and the scales are set for the things that the others would rather forget. Every action has a reaction in the sand. The absolute law of the Western land. I have watched the cities burn to the ground without making a single and a desperate sound. The justice I seek is the order I keep, while the rest of the world is falling asleep. I am the ending, and I am the star, with the Western Noir in the center of the heart. In the dust and a soul in the cold, a story of power that will never be told. A soaring balance in a broken land, with a cold blue iron in a steady hand. No more anger and no more hate, the absolute movement of the sovereign faith. From the burning west to the dying east, the gavel is made of the iron in the bone, reigning supreme and completely alone. I call the order in the center of the hall, watching the evening shadows fall. No more deception and no more disguise under the watch of the charcoal skies. The sovereign's gavel falls with the thunder, tearing the lies in the world asunder. A final judgment in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. The power is absolute and the power is still. The absolute movement of the sovereign will. The brass is blowing for the end of the time. The final summit of the sovereign climb. I weigh the spirits and I weigh the souls, making the broken pieces finally whole. Every sentence is a blessing, and every sentence is a sign that the kingdom of the soul is forever mine. I am the master of the final decree, finally sovereign and finally free. Let the world tremble in its anger and greed, providing for the body but not for the need. I am the pilot of the final hour, the absolute movement of the fiery thrower. The gavel is a temple and the gavel is a light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. I reach the summit of the great unknown, reigning forever on a sovereign throne. The sovereign's gavel falls with the thunder, tearing in the lies in the world asunder. A final judgment in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. The power is absolute and the power is still. The absolute movement of the sovereign role. desert is a mirror for the starless night, beyond the reach of the human light. I see the infinite in the grain of the sand, in the absolute center of the sovereign land. The mountains are fading into the black, with no more reasons for looking back. I listen to the echoes of the time and space, reflected in the lines of a sovereign face. Echoes of infinity calling my name, beyond the water and the charcoal flame. A sovereign spirit in the vast unknown, reigning supreme on a dusty throne. No more borders and no more time, the final summit of the sovereign climb. The stars are the dust of the kings who fell inside the hollow of the desert shell. I am a traveler of the silent sea, finally sovereign and finally me. The piano is playing the song of the void, of the world that the others have finally destroyed. I master the stillness and I master the deep, in the sovereign promise that I'm bound to keep. Every breath is a ripple in the ancient pond of the world below and the world beyond. I don't seek a heaven and I don't fear a hell, inside the center of the sovereign cell. The infinite is a temple for the mind that is still, the absolute movement of the sovereign will. I am the ending and I am the start, with the western Noir in the center of the heart. Echoes of infinity calling my name, beyond the water and the charcoal flame. A sovereign spirit in the vast unknown, reigning supreme on a dusty throne. No more borders and no more time,
The sun goes down and the moon comes up, drinking the darkness from a silver cup. The cycle is old and the cycle is true, doing the things that the sovereigns do. The leaves turn to brown and the grass turns to gray. At the final end of a common day, I am the witness to the rise and the fall, the absolute master of the absolute all. The universal cycle is a heavy wheel, the only thing that is honest and real. From the dust to the dust, and the bone to the bone, reigning supreme and completely alone. No more resistance and no more fight. Guiding the soul through the center of the night. I've seen the empires crumble and fade in the middle of the world that the shadows made. But the earth remains and the stone is still. The absolute movement of the sovereign will. The river and the vein, the marrow and the rim is in the vein. In the middle of the desert and the open plain, I find my balance in the turning of the year, leaving behind the ancient and the heavy fear. To be reborn, you must first learn how to die. Under the watch of the charcoal sky, I embrace the change, I embrace the cold, a story of power that will never be told. The cycle is the anchor, and the cycle is the light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. I stand on the ridge as the seasons depart, with the western Noir in the center of the heart. The universal cycle is a heavy wheel, the only thing that is honest and real. From the dust to the dust, and the bone to the bone, reigning supreme and completely alone. No more resistance and no more fight, guiding the soul through the center of the night.
is a horse, and the sea is the sand. Across the reach of the broken land, I am the pilot of the midnight trail, beyond the reach of the weak and the frail. The constellations are the only guide in the middle of the desert and the southern tide. I move through the shadows of the high ridge ride to know that the kingdom of the soul is mine. Voyager of the dark and the starless sea, finally sovereign and finally free. A silent traveler in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. No more destination and no more goal, just the absolute peace of a sovereign soul. The silence is heavy, and the silence is deep. In the sovereign valleys that the outlaws keep, I see the nebulae in the campfire smoke, spirit of iron and a soul of hope. The cello is crying for the miles I led, before the final words were ever said. I don't look for a harbor, and I don't look for a home. The sovereign king was born to roam. Every star is a port, and every star is a sign. Across the reach of the high ridge line, I am the master of the cosmic wind, leaving behind the world where the others have sinned. The voyage is lonely, and the voyage is long. The final notes of a sovereign song. I reach the edge of the great unknown, waiting forever on a sovereign throne. Voyager of the dark and the starless sea, finally sovereign and finally free. A silent traveler in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center
destruction and no more gold, just the absolute peace of a sovereign soul. The center is heavy and the center is still. The absolute movement of the sovereign will. I feel the pull of the ancient stone, reigning supreme and completely alone. The noise of the world is falling away at the final end of the common day. I am the gravity and I am the weight, the master of the past and the master of the fate. The gravity of stillness is pulling me down into the center of the sovereign crown. No more movement and no more flight, guiding the soul through the center of the night. A kingdom of order in the absolute deep, in the sovereign promise that I'm bound to keep. The others are drifting like the autumn leaves inside the hollow of the human thieves. But I am the anchor and I am the rock beyond the ticking of the human clock. I find my power in the point of the rest, in the middle of the desert and the western west. The heartbeat is slow and the heartbeat is true, doing the things that the sovereigns do. The center is heavy and the center is still. The absolute movement of the sovereign will. Well, I feel the pull of the ancient stone, reigning supreme and completely alone. The noise of the world is falling away at the final end of the common day. I am the gravity and I am the weight, the master of the path and the master of the fate. The gravity of stillness is pulling me down into the center of the sovereign crown. No more movement and no more flight, guiding the soul through the center of the night. A kingdom of order in the absolute deep, in the sovereign promise that I'm bound to keep. The others are drifting, wink the autumn leaves, inside the hollow of the human thieves. But I am the anchor and I am the rock, beyond the ticking of the human clock. I find my power in the point of the rest, in the middle of the desert and the western west. The heartbeat is slow and the heartbeat is true, doing the things that the sovereigns do. Is not empty when you are the whole, in the absolute furnace of the sovereign soul. I have reached the center of the blackest hole, taking the final and the absolute control. The stillness is a weapon and the stillness is a sign that the kingdom of the soul is forever mine. I stand at the end and I stand at the start, with the western Noir in the center of the heart. The gravity of stillness is pulling me down into the center of the sovereign crown. No more movement and no more flight, guiding the soul through the center of the night. A kingdom of order in the absolute deep, in the sovereign promise that I'm bound to keep. horizon is wider than the human eye. Under the watch of the charcoal sky, I have reached the border of the galaxy line, where the human and the spirit finally entwine. The frontier is vast, and the frontier is deep. In the sovereign silence that the outlaws keep, I am the pioneer of the final mile, with the ghost of a king and a stoic smile. The Galactic Frontier is the home of the soul, making the broken pieces finally whole. A sovereign empire of the star and the stone, reigning supreme and completely alone. No more deception and no more disguise, under the watch of the charcoal skies. The stars are the campfires of the ones who remain in the middle of the desert and the cosmic plain. I see the glory in the velvet black, with no more reasons for looking back. The brass is blowing for the final dawn, before the final shadow is forever gone. I master the light and I master the dark, holding the fire and holding the spark. Let the world go on with its noise and its greed, providing for the body, but not for the need. I am the master of the final hour, the absolute movement of the sovereign power. The Galactic Frontier is a temple for the mind, leaving the heavy burdens of the world behind. I reach the summit of the great unknown, reigning forever on a sovereign throne. The Galactic Frontier is the home of the soul, making the broken pieces finally whole. A sovereign empire charcoal skies.
The sun is a memory of a life I led before the final words were ever said. I follow the shadow to the edge of the world where the blackest flag finally unfurled. It doesn't have a face, and it doesn't have a name. Ghost in the charcoal and the indigo flame. I am the hunter of the final mile, with the ghost of a king and a stoic smile. The last shadow is the only friend at the final border and the final end. A sovereign companion in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. And no more light, just the final rhythm of the sovereign night. The mountains are fading into a deep blue gray. At the final end of the common day, I see the silhouette of the man I was, without the effect and without the cause. The cello is crying for the miles I rode on the center of the long and the dusty road. I embrace the silence and I embrace the dark, holding the fire and holding the spark. Every shadow is a bridge to the great unknown, reigning supreme and completely alone. I have reached the summit of the deep divide, with the sovereign spirit as my only guide. The last shadow is the first light. I see finally sovereign and finally me. I stand at the start, with the western Noir and the seven. The last shadow is the only friend at the final border and the final end. A sovereign companion in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. No more questions and no more light, just the final rhythm of the sovereign
The world is a dreamer in a fevered state, while I watch the turning of the sovereign fate. They are lost in the hollow of the human dream, moving across the black and the silver stream. But I am the waker, and I am the king of the silent songs that the shadows sing. I rule the silence of the bedroom floor, beyond the shadow of the ancient door. The kingdom of sleep is a peaceful land in the absolute center of the sovereign hand. No more noise and no more greed, providing for the spirit and the basic need. A sovereign master of the quiet mind, leaving the heavy world behind. The houses are temples of the deep and the still, under the movement of the sovereign will. I hear the breathing of the city below, in the rhythm of the life that is moving slow. The piano is playing the song of the rest, in the middle of the desert and the western west. I am the guardian of the midnight hour, the silent reflection of the sovereign Every dream is a shadow of the truth I find in the secret corners of the sovereign mind. I don't need a vision, and I don't need a sign to know that the kingdom of the soul is mine. The sleep is a blessing, and the sleep is a light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. I reach the summit of the vast and the deep, the master of the kingdom of the sovereign sleep. The kingdom of sleep is a peaceful land in the absolute center of the sovereign hand. No more noise and no more greed, providing for the spirit and the basic need. A sovereign master of the quiet mind, leaving the heavy world behind.
The lake is a mirror of the obsidian stone, where the king is sitting completely alone. The water is heavy and the water is black, with no more reason for looking back. I see the stars in the center of the deep, in the sovereign silence that the outlaws keep. I dip my hand in the cold blue ink, standing at the edge of the sovereign brink. Obsidian waters carry the way through the narrow gates of the final fate. A sovereign reflection in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. No more movement and no more sound in the kingdom that was never found. The slide is a whisper of the ancient tide, in the middle of the desert and the sovereign pride. I don't fight the current and I don't fight the stream. I am the waker and I am the dream. The obsidian reflects the man I am, without the mercy
of a god or a lamb. I find my balance in the liquid dark, holding the fire and holding the spark. Every ripple is a story, every ripple is a mile, with the ghost of a king and a stoic smile. The water is the anchor and the water is the shield, across the desert and the open field. I am the river and the river is me, moving forever through the starless sea. The Obsidian Waters are the final grace, reflected in the lines of a sovereign face. Obsidian waters carry the way through the narrow gates of the final fate. A sovereign reflection in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. No more movement and no more sound in the kingdom that was never found. The world is a storm of the anger and dust, in the law of the desert and the sovereign trust. But I've reached the point of the absolute rest, in the middle of the desert and the western west. No more rotation and no more spin, for the places I go and the places I've been. I am the axis and I am the pole, in the absolute furnace of the sovereign soul. The Unmoving Center is the home of the king, the only song that the outlaw sing. A sovereign stillness in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. The power is absolute and the power is still. The absolute movement of the sovereign will. Let the others drift and let the others fall. The absolute nothing of the absolute ill. I am the gravity and I am the stone, reigning supreme and completely alone. The strings are a chorus of the heavy and the deep, in the sovereign promise that I'm bound to keep. I find my balance in the center of the dark, holding the fire and holding the spark. Every thought is a circle and every doubt is a wheel. The only thing that is honest and real. I am the master of the silent discernment, in the final hour of the soul's adjournment. The unmoving center is the temple for the mind, leaving the heavy burdens of the world behind. I stand at the end and I stand at the start, with the western Noir in the center of the heart. The unmoving center is the home of the king, the only song that the outlaw sing, a sovereign stillness in the charcoal light, guiding the soul through the center of the night. The power is absolute and the power is still, the absolute movement of the sovereign will. The horizon has vanished and the dawn is alive, under a watch of the charcoal sky. I have reached the border of the infinite night, beyond the reach of the human life. There is no more time, and there is no more space, just the final glory of the sovereign grace. I am the darkness, and I am the sound of a kingdom that was finally found. Infinite night is the rest of the soul, making the broken pieces finally whole. A sovereign empire of the absolute black, with no more reasons memories of the fires I led before the final words were ever said. I don't need a map, and I don't need a guide, with the sovereign spirit as my only pride. The cello is singing the final decree. Finally sovereign, and finally me. I embrace the silence, and I embrace the deed, in the sovereign promise that I'm bound to keep. Let the world go on with its noise and its greed, providing for the body, but not for the need. I have found the treasure, and I have found the spark, in the middle of the absolute and the sovereign dark. The infinite night is a temple for the mind, leaving the heavy burdens of the world behind. I reach the summit of the great unknown, reigning forever on a sovereign throne. Infinite night is the rest of the soul, making the broken pieces finally whole. A sovereign empire of the absolute black, with no more reasons for looking back. I am the ending, and I am the start, the master of the Western, Noir in my heart.